Hello fellow travelers, my name is Ari and this video is about a question that we're getting a lot in this channel and is, where can I get a COVID-19 test to travel back to my country? As you know, many countries are now requiring a negative COVID-19 test result to enter the country. So if you're going on vacation, that is a very important question for you to know. Where can you get that test result in the country you're traveling to enter back to your home country when your vacation is done? Please confirm what type of test you need to enter back to your home country. This can either be a PCR, an antigen, or an antibody test. Each country has different specifications of the type of test and also the time it should be administered on. For instance, 72 hours, 24 hours, 48 hours, some other countries can even be 96 hours. That means that you need to have a negative test result for a test that has been administered within the last 24, 48, 72, or 96 hours, depending on the regulations and requirements of your countries. For example, the United States right now requires a 72 hours prior to the entering of the country. I'm recording this video on February 13th, so that is the requirement right now. It is different for each country and I'm not going to get into the specifications and requirements for each separate country because, as you know, that can change from one day to another, and that is for you to find out what your country requires of you to have when traveling back to your country. As of January 26 of 2021, the Dominican Republic's Ministry of Tourism is offering free antigen tests to all international visitors staying at hotels. They're doing this through the free health coverage plan. This is a health plan that is free to international travelers staying at hotels in the Dominican Republic that the government has been offering for some time now to offer assurance for the pandemic. As you know, things can change at any time, and now the free antigen tests go inside this free health plan. The antigen tests meets the requirements set currently by the United States CDC that needs a negative antigen COVID-19 test to everyone entering the United States. It can be, of course, also a PCR test, which is more accurate and more complex, but the antigen test will suffice if you're going back to the US after your vacation in DR. The antigen test is processed faster than the PCR test and is the only one that is free and the only one covered by the free coverage health plan in the Dominican Republic. While these antigen tests are free, there is a small fee to pay for the cost of processing these tests. I don't know exactly how much is it, so you would need to contact your hotel, but I can assure you it wouldn't be much. So I'm guessing maybe $10 at the most, but don't quote me on that. But it would be a nominal fee just for the cost of processing those tests. Some hotels have decided to absorb this cost, while others transfer that cost to you, the customer, while some other hotels, maybe the smaller ones, are not part of this program at all. So it's up to you to find out if your hotel is part of the program, if the antigen test is completely free, or a small fee will apply. Most big hotels will definitely be on the program. So the question would be if you have to pay a small fee or it would be entirely free. Some hotels like the Hard Rock only offer 2 free antigen tests per room. So if your party is bigger than that, you would need to pay an additional $50 per test for each additional test over the 2 free tests. Now, how to get tested on your hotel? To all international travelers staying at a hotel, you would have the option for a test, either an antigen test if that's required by your government, or if your country requires a more complex PCR test, that would also be available through your hotel. But the PCR test is not free. It's actually quite expensive per person. It would range from $75 to $86 depending on the laboratory and the hotel that they have agreement to test guests on. Some countries require an antigen test, other countries require a more expensive, more accurate PCR test. These tests will most likely be administered at your hotel on site. And what happens if you test positive? From what I was able to research, and all my research was done in the official hotel websites or the official Ministry of Tourism website. Not all hotels might have the same procedure, but from the hotels I was able to find out that were the Hard Rock Hotel, the Secrets Cap Cana, the Dreams Punta Cana, and the Breathless Punta Cana. All of them are big hotels. You will need to quarantine for 14 days in the hotel in a room, and that will be at no cost to you. Please be advised that this is only true if your home country is currently requiring a negative test result. Now, as you know, some countries are requiring a PCR test. They do not accept an antigen test or an antibodies test. Most of the hotels will have an agreement with local laboratories, clinics, and hospitals for personnel to come to the hotel and administer the test there. Others will have a drive-through option. Others, you would need to go to the laboratory in person and show your passport and travel itinerary to get the PCR test. So you will need to find out which of those options your hotel is currently offering. Either do that prior to arrival, that's what I would do, or when you get to the country, go to the front desk and they will be more than happy to help you, to assist you with making an appointment with the local laboratory to come to your hotel to administer the test. I would advise to do that as soon as you get to the country. The most recognized local laboratories that I could find that are offering on-site testing in Punta Cana, that means they go to your hotel and administer the test there, are Amadita. The cost is approximately $75 per PCR test, and the test results are ready between 48 and 72 hours, so 2 to 3 days. You must make an appointment and present your passport. Referencia is the name of another laboratory that in some hotels goes on site and administers the test, and in other cases you would need to go to the laboratory itself, or they have drive-through options for you to go in a car and get the PCR test. Referencia is also charging about $75 per PCR test, and the results are ready in 48 hours, so a little bit less than Amadita. They also have an express option. It's called Express PCR test, and the cost is a little bit more expensive, about $86, and the results are ready in about 24 hours. No, they say in 24 hours. From past experience, I was in the need of getting a PCR test from Referencia way back in March of 2020, and they had a backlog of calls, of tests, of results, so the time frame they provided was not accurate. Now, that was in the beginning of the pandemic. There were many people requesting tests, so I'm not sure if that's the case here. I do know that for visitors, for international travelers, they are having preference because the government and the country wants to incentivize tourism and visitors coming to the country. So I would not worry about that too much, but remember, as soon as you get to the country, make the appointment to get the PCR test to avoid any delays on your testing. There are also some local hospitals and clinics that have agreements with specific Punta Cana hotels to go administer the tests on site. Also, there are other laboratories and hospitals and clinics that do not require an appointment. You simply go to the laboratory in person, show your passport and travel itinerary, and they will administer the PCR test without the necessity of making an appointment. There are many details and different variables and moving pieces regarding the testing and the PCR or the antigen, the cost and everything else. And instead of drowning you in more details, I will leave all the necessary links for you in the description down below. It is absolutely very clear and easy to understand in those links that I will leave for you in the description. So please go ahead and visit them. Those are official links for the hotels and the Ministry of Tourism, so it's accurate and up-to-date information. So I hope this information was very useful for your travel plans. Leave any question down in the comments. See you later, see you in the next video. Please like and subscribe to support us to grow this channel and to keep giving you this important information to help you travel your Punta Cana vacations. Ciao!